you know what's fucked up though is that I think there was like a diversion tactic because there was this guy who walked up to us. We were with Daniel.
Did he say you look pretty and you just like got lost in it for a second?
No, not at all.
Tell me
we're
more.
like a bunch of
That's
us.
how it would have got me shit. All you got to do is tell me I smell good, boy, and I'm going.
You smell good, man. Goddamn.
Boy, my clothes coming straight off. Shit.
That's Jenna's plan usually.
So anyway, no, he like came up and he started to talk to us. And I don't even know how it happened, but like he was like, "My name is Bladen," and then he spelled it. And Daniel's funniest comment of the night was, "Bladen, I'm pretty sure I fought you in Mortal Kombat."
Hey, that's a good one.
That is pretty
Yeah.
good. That is pretty good. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Menage-A-Pod, the hysterical comedy podcast about sex, dating, relationships, and everything in between. I'm TJ, as always. I'm joined by my best friend, podcast life partner, and the beauty to my beast.
That was
Jenna.
already hurtful. About like 2 seconds in and you're already being a dick.
Yeah, that's par for the course, right?
I know.
2 seconds,
right.
that's a new personal record. I promised myself I was going to achieve
Is
big
it?
things this week, so there it is.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I know we both have great stories to tell, and since they might stretch it a little longer, I don't want to keep our guest cold sitting here. This is someone we've been trying to get on the podcast for a while now. We're super excited to see him and have him here. So we are joined today by Chicago area stand-up comedian, co-host of the new podcast Be Positive, and a regular at My Buddies on Clark, one of my favorite guys in the city, Dario Durham. Welcome.
What's happening? How y'all doing, man? Thanks
One
for
of
having
his
me.
favorite guys in the city.
Man,
Did
you
you
know,
hear that? That was a ringing endorsement.
I met him today, but we've been talking on Instagram for
I
like
know.
7
Yeah.
months.
You guys are like
We
bros.
man,
Yeah.
my mom don't even introduce me like that.
Respect.
Your
You
mom's
come
a
here to
dick.
get respect.
Yeah,
man.
right. I appreciate it. I'm just a regular ass dude. Like, it's him over there.
All right, well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Dario?
Well, you said it. I'm cool as fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. Done.
I concur.
Do you need any more?
Right. You know. Yeah. Well, I produce a lot of shows in the city, man. I just want to say, I really like what I do when it comes to comedy, man. And me as a person, I'm what you get in real life. I'm Instagram, real life. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Just
not
authentic,
Yeah,
genuine
I'm just
dude.
authentic, man. So everything you said right there, that's what I do. I've been in comedy for I don't know what 3 years now, 3.5 years. So
You single? You dating?
I'm single. I'm dating.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, man. You know that's a journey, boy.
Yeah, it is.
That's a journey.
Yeah.
You remember that movie from the 80s, The Never Ending Story?
Yeah, that's what
it right
exactly
there.
Yeah.
what the hell this is. You know, shit. I wish it would end. You know what I'm saying? Man.
That's kind of the point, right? You
Yeah.
hope for the ending. All right. Well, before we go too much more into the topic or about Dario, we wanted to get into the standard kind of weekly back and forth because I know Jenna has a really crazy story she wants to talk about, and I have a good one too. So, Jenna, what's going on? What's big in your world?
I'm going to try to get through this without crying for the 10th time in like the last 3 days. I'm going to start the story with fuck you, Boss Bar. I know.
Fuck you,
Sorry.
Boss Bar.
Fuck you, Boss Bar. I know we did the fake ad for them and that was very funny, but no, I refuse. I don't even care how much money they throw at us. I hate
Why
them
are
right
we
now.
fucking Boss Bar?
All right,
Does it
so-
look great in a pair of high heels and a nice skirt?
It's real.
Because
And-
there's always hookers there at the bar.
Hey.
Like real ones, like
Real-
legit
oh,
ones.
for real?
Oh yeah, no, and I'm not. I would never speak about another woman like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You do you. Have as much sex
Right.
as you want. I'm not mad about it. I'm jealous. I mean, like actual hookers are like
Damn.
you can get a hooker at the bar, yeah. Or lady of the night,
No,
whatever you
yeah,
want to
right.
call them.
Yeah, you gotta treat her with respect. It is the world's oldest
my
profession.
bad,
Don't talk
my
about
bad.
Catwoman
I
like
know.
that.
So I was there on whatever Friday or Saturday night. I don't remember. I had like this wallet. There's a problem with this wallet. It was like a YSL
Okay.
wallet.
Oh, yeah. I like that
It was
cologne.
like nice.
Me too. I have it on her now.
Man.
Yeah. And but it was big enough to be a clutch. So sometimes if I go out at night, I'll just take the wallet and stick my phone in it and my keys and like whatever. Well, it was sitting on the bar and someone fucking swiped it.
Damn.
So you lost a
So I
YSL
lost
wallet.
my expensive wallet,
The phone.
a phone, my credit card.
What if they got the secrets to our podcast?
What if?
Right. The
Man,
Krabby Patty secret is all in there.
Krabby
Luckily-
Tekashi 6ix9ine. He told him where it's at. Fuck.
Luckily, that's
Telling
funny.
all the damn beans. Well,
Luckily, my keys weren't in there. They were in my pocket. Otherwise, like my, address is on my license. So someone could have been like breaking into my apartment. Just awful. And the worst part is like go up to the security guy and I say to him, hey, like this is there are cameras. What can we do? And he goes, I mean, not really much. He's like, you're the third person tonight to say this though. And I was like, what kind of establishment? I lost it.
Do we really have to ask what kind of establishment
Well,
Boss Bar is?
I know, but like, come the fuck on. Like, get it together. Why do you have cameras? Why do you have security cameras? Anyway, that was the first part of the problem. The second part of the problem was that I don't have, so I got I'm from Maryland. I moved here like 13 years ago. And I just renewed, just got an Illinois license like a year and a half ago.
Oh, that's expensive.
It's a process, right? You need like a social security card or like a birth certificate or something.
Jenna doesn't have that. She's actually an undocumented immigrant.
And a passport and all that kind of stuff. So I had all that in one, like, I kept it in like a folder.
Something easily to lose or get stolen in one location.
Clearly, yeah. And then I moved into this apartment and I don't know where that folder is. So I don't have any other form of identification. So for me to become a real human again, it is going to be like a 3-week fucking process because in order to get one thing, I need something else. So it's like, I can't move.
And without those things, what are you going to be missing out on?
So that was the other part. No, going to the bar. I mean, yeah, sure. But like the worst part is my friend has a bachelorette party this weekend and you can't get on a plane without an ID. I can't get an ID without a social security card or a credit card, I guess also counts, like a debit card.
Yeah, right.
But I don't have those either. And they're not going to get here till Wednesday. But then DMV, fucking Illinois. I don't know if it's like this everywhere. This wasn't like this back in Maryland, but in Illinois, they gave you the paper.
I'm going to have to speed this story up in post-production.
Illinois is wilding out.
Right? Yeah. It's like so fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't get on with the paper. The airline I looked up, they won't let me do it. So now, not only did all that fucking shit happen, now I'm missing out on a fun weekend.
So you're not even going to go?
She can't. No,
I can't.
She's got to fly to Austin. She can't get on the plane.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Is this a bad time to tell you guys that I stole that wallet?
I mean, well, I was listening to the story and she was like, they said it was the third person tonight. So the person was still in the fucking building.
Oh, I made it come up that night. For sure. For sure.
You was just swiping all of them.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going back to the suburbs with all these rich bitches' wallets.
You know what's fucked up though is that I think there was like a diversion tactic because there was this guy who walked up to us. We were with Daniel.
Did he say you look pretty and you just like got lost in it for a second?
No, not at all.
Tell me
we're
more.
like a bunch of
That's
us.
how it would have got me shit. All you got to do is tell me I smell good, boy, and I'm going.
You smell good, man. Goddamn.
Boy, my clothes coming straight off. Shit.
That's Jenna's plan usually.
Funny. So anyway, no, he like came up and he started to talk to us. And I don't even know how it happened, but like he was like, "My name is Bladen," and then he spelled it. And Daniel's funniest comment of the night was, "Bladen, I'm pretty sure I fought you in Mortal Kombat."
Hey, that's a good one.
That is pretty good. That's a good one. That is pretty good.
That's a good one.
And then as this like banter was happening, he must have been working with somebody and they fucking swiped it from the thing.
It was worth the I mean, honestly,
behind me.
if I'm being 100% honest, I think her losing the wall on the phone was worth it just for the Mortal Kombat joke.
I was about to say Mortal Kombat joke came out.
It was a solid joke, and I was laughing really hard, and then that's what got me distracted, and then it made they fucking swipe.
And Daniel, if you listen to this, let it be said, you're not that funny, so hang your hat on that.
He was
joke,
pretty
buddy.
funny. He was also in rare form then. He was pretty drunk.
Man, I've luckily never had a wallet or anything like that stolen.
Me either.
Ooh, that's
bad luck, man.
It is,
Yeah,
but
knock
that's why
on
we don't
wood.
buy $1,000 wallets.
Well,
you got to ball out every night.
you know what's funny is that I was talking to my sister about this. A couple people have said this to me. They're like, I bet you could have found your wallet in the trash. They're not after your wallet. They were after what was inside your wallet. You didn't have cash.
They wanted all them
probably
extra condoms you carry around.
They're
It was
like,
getting wild in Baltimore.
Fair.
They're like, these bitches look dirty
right,
in the
they going
condoms.
down.
This girl
fair.
looks like she knows what's up. I bet there's some condoms in there.
I mean,
Fuck this
probably
annex,
not.
man. I don't need this.
not true. I'm just kidding. Anyway, it
All right,
was a
that's
shit show.
That's a horrible story.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
fucked
and
up.
we talk about them all the time on the podcast, so I also had to put that out there.
That is a bad one. Not necessarily
Yeah.
a dating story, but still.
Does it have to
It
be?
does not, but that's a terrible story. But
I was with someone while I was there.
there you go. Yeah.
Dating story.
You got to really sell us on the
Okay,
dating
there
angle.
you go.
Okay,
No,
all right.
And this dude, he's a visitor from out of state. So
Yeah.
He took it.
he might have.
He took
He
it.
might have.
I like where your head's at.
He took it.
I'd have been
God
following him to the
damn
airport. Ooh, wouldn't that be like an elaborate thing?
Wouldn't
They
it?
like
Man, for
start dating you in a long distance
What an
relationship to steal your shit.
Steal my wallet?
Ooh, hey guy, we won't say your name, but if you're listening, I'm
Yeah,
on to you,
right.
motherfucker.
Hey, he just locked you down. You can't leave.
Oh yeah,
You can't leave.
He's like, oh, she thinks she's going to
Yeah,
Austin,
right,
fuck her. I'll
right.
send that shit back in the mail on Tuesday. Fuck her.
Right. He ain't going nowhere.
Oh my God.
That's
That would-
brilliant.
that
Like,
would-
I'm not an evil genius. We already know this. Fuck.
It sounds like it, though. I mean,
All right, so
That's
that is
funny.
a terrible story and kind of funny. Sorry to laugh at your pain. But this story I've got, this is like an old timer, and you guys prepare to just fall out. So the other night, I'm walking through Lakeview, not too far from where we are, walking through some side streets, and I'm walking with a woman that I know, and all of a sudden you hear right. A bike coming through. So we step to the left, and then as the bike, and it's on the sidewalk, as the bike comes through, he like looks at us and like really aggressively goes right, like towards us. And the girl I'm with, she can be a little sassy, have a little attitude. So she says, "Oh, my bad. I thought the street was where bikes are supposed to go." And he turns around and says,
Well, that's true.
He is true.
I've yelled at kids for that. I'm not going to lie.
Well, 12 and under. If you're 12 and under, you can be on the sidewalks.
Okay.
But dude turns around and says, "Shut the fuck up, cunt."
No.
It gets better. And of course, being a dude, and I'm not a small guy, so I'm like, what the fuck did you say? And he said, "You can shut the fuck up too, or you're going to sit here and get your ass kicked in front of your girl."
Oh, shit.
Who the fuck was this
Just
guy?
wait. So when this gets done getting said, dude's probably like 20 feet in front of me.
Is he big? Like, I needed a visual.
It's hard to tell. He's standing on a bike. He's now like slowed down and maybe even stopped on the sidewalk, standing and like looking back at us. And the switch flips, and I just fucking start sprinting. And as soon as I was like T2000 and shot. And so I'm running, and he's immediately like on it, pedaling hard as fuck. But as he's pedaling away from me at top speed, he's screaming, "I'm going to kick your fucking ass. I'm going to kick."
Wow.
Well, he's running from me.
You running?
This man. I'm like, come on. But my like, I'm gaining on him.
Yeah.
Like, we start off probably 50 feet away. By the time we get to the corner, we're maybe.
Were you winded? Be honest.
I was not. No. So much rage and
boy.
adrenaline. I was like, no. And the girl I was with was like, two things. I didn't know you get that mad, and goddamn, you run fast for your
real.
size. Oh yeah. So we get to the corner, and I'm close. I'm like 20 feet away, and we make this turn by the middle of the block. I'm gonna catch him.
Yeah.
So he takes like a really aggressive turn into the street on Oakdale, where he is promptly smoked by a fucking car.
No.
Oh yeah. So he gets hit by a car.
Shit. Oh shit.
Oh yeah, he gets hit by a car, and I like, goddamn, I can't believe I tell this story.
Yeah.
So I'm standing on the corner of the street, and there's like a box van right at the corner, and so there's maybe 25 witnesses, 5 on my side of the street, 20 on the other. He's like, he gets up, he's fine. His bike's fucked up, his car's fucked up, but he's fine. And now he's ready to fight. He's like, I want to fight. And he's waving me in the street. And where I'm at, there's like 20 of these witnesses can't see me. So I'm like, nah, you come over here. So he comes over to my side of the street. And at this point, the girl I'm with is now like caught up to the situation. And me and this dude are just like face to face. And I'm trying to like be cool about it, because now I've realized I'm a lot bigger than him. I'm probably like 5 inches, 60 pounds. There's like a massive size advantage. He's probably 10 years younger than I am.
Oh, you should beat the shit out of him.
I should have.
I feel like
I should
I've seen this flash of anger. I believe this.
But just so then I'm standing like face to face, and finally this moment washes over me, and he's like, "Come on." And I'm like, "Oh man," I point at the car. I'm like, "Looks like you got a more important situation to deal with." And we just start walking up the street. But then we get to the restaurant we're headed, and she's like rehashing it, talking about the story. And I'm like, when we were face to face, I was going to do something, and it is the quickest fight ender in the world. You know what I was going to do?
What, headbutt the shit out of
Headbutt him right in the middle of the fucking face. 9 out of 10 people do not come back from a headbutt to the fucking face. That would have been donezo, especially some like 150-pound 20-year-old.
Yeah.
It would have been all over.
You had the downward angle on him too.
Oh, yeah.
You would have had a good little.
And I got this big ass dome.
I was about to say, we got big forehead. That shit.
I mean, this forehead, I'll put a hole in your fucking drywall, Jenna. Come on.
That was that caveman shit. He wasn't ready for it. No, that ain't shit.
You remember that TurboGrafx game, Bonk's
Hell
Adventure?
yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, boy.
I don't think any of our listeners are going to get that reference.
No, for real. Like, this is the 30 and up club right here.
All right, so that's my story. That's my story. Come on.
Damn, I ain't got no stories. That sound like black people problems. Shit, both of y'all.
I mean,
goddamn, what's going on here? I got the only story I got. I drank some White Claw this weekend.
Oh, you did.
Did you become like you're like a basic white girl?
A white girl. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when in Rome.
Fair.
Hey, fuck it.
Where were you? What were you doing?
I was out. I had a show. I had a show Saturday, and I mean, you get me enough drunk, I do pretty much anything. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
it's good to know.
I saw some.
You should be not drinking water right now then.
I saw some social media content of a private show I think you and Vic Pandya did together.
Oh yeah.
And there were quite a few young ladies in that crowd.
Yes, there were.
What were they doing? Throwing their undies at you?
No.
Who are you, fucking Taco?
No.
It looked like it was in some nice ass
better than
condo or
Vic.
something, right?
Man.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, it was it was a 21st birthday party. It was pretty.
Ooh.
Yeah, no.
A 21st birthday party, and they were like, "Hey, can we have some comedians come by and do a show?"
So it was a
That's
wealthy
interesting.
21-year-old.
It was very wealthy 21-year-old.
That place looked like some wealthy people.
Maybe
in there.
that's what I'll do for my 31st birthday.
There you go.
You gonna go back in the time machine like 9 years to hit that shit?
9
Call out-
years?
call
Go
out.
fuck
Oh,
yourself. Not 9 years.
She's
Jenna's
like,
gonna get in the Wayback Machine and celebrate a 31st birthday again.
Yeah.
That's funny as fuck. Yeah, that show was good. I mean, it was fun. I mean, but they were out there. I'll tell you that much.
It seemed like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you want to jump into the topic?
I do. So today, I think what we landed on was, why is it so hard to let go after a breakup or a divorce?
Do you need a line of
whatever?
cocaine or something, Jenna?
Do I?
Neither one of us do that, but she's just like, I think.
Yeah, that just need to mellow out, huh? Yeah.
I think what? Why are you being such a dick?
I'm just fucking with you.
Whatever,
Showing out in front of
dude.
company.
Yeah, I think so. He wants to be your friend, so now he's like trying to be cool.
Trying to be cool.
Yeah, he's gonna like, I don't know, probably like try to beat you up or something. Like, you know
have
how
a good
that works.
story, yeah.
Yeah.
Dario was riding on the bike out of here.
Just so,
I chased his ass into traffic too. I was like, yeah, motherfucker, what?
He was walking to his car, looked back at me, and I headbutt the shit out of him. We clashed. It was made sparks.
I was going to say, if you and me headbutt each other, that'd be like Thanos' glove or something. I don't know what the fuck would even happen. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
I feel like we're going to need to post a side-by-side forehead photo to fucking Instagram.
Hey, as long as I got my hair cut, shit, I'm good. All right, as long as I got a line.
You got the fade lined up. It looks good. You're tightened up.
That matters,
wow.
man.
Does it?
It does.
Okay.
God damn.
I mean, sure. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not
I judge pictures by what stage. Like right now, it's real grown out, but I definitely judge pictures by the stages of fade.
Man, yeah. Shit. It scared me. I'm a black guy. You're not
Wait, you
important.
don't say.
I don't say. Sometimes in the light, you might not tell.
Do you know how many
Jesus Christ.
Wow. I don't even know where to take that. How do I get into the topic this way?
You just
I
turn
just
around
have
and start
to-
talking
I
about the
just have to
topic.
go.
Yeah.
I just have to go from there. Anyways, this has happened to me multiple times where I've tried to. The message that I sent you today, I thought was really perfect for this episode.
Yeah.
We can get into that
Okay.
example. But why you shouldn't necessarily stay friends with exes or keep them in your life. Like, is it healthy? Why isn't it healthy? And how like you can kind of move on from that.
Right.
Sometimes if you only go on like a date or two with them, but if they have like a real nice apartment, they want to do a podcast with you, then you keep them around.
Yeah, you keep around. Shit.
I know.
Be there.
I'm sitting right here.
Oh, I wasn't talking about you.
Really?
It's
Do you have
another
another podcast with somebody else?
Is this a bad time to break that news? Actually, me and Dario are starting one.
Yeah. That's what we-
Listen.
We're going to be called C Positive. It's like a knockoff of his original.
Hey, let's get it. Coming to y'all, man. C positive.
Yeah, representing the South suburbs.
Joliet, what's up?
Oh, that's true. Honestly, I didn't even realize that. I don't even know. Now I can't make fun of the suburbs because there's two of you in the same room.
You can make fun
You
of
guys are going to be like a fucking super force right now.
I don't think two people from Joliet have ever gotten together to be a super force. No.
What about like a tiny gang?
No, that's first of all.
Two dudes would get just rode on.
Yeah, right. And man,
Like bone?
No.
Oh.
it's not that Joliet.
I
Joliet is.
I
They
don't
don't
know.
wild out.
I don't know what you do out there.
No, I don't know. I'm always out here in Chicago.
You're a smart man. Me too.
right.
I'm slowly. It's a slow shift
It
getting out
very
this
is.
way.
I'm
Yeah.
coming out here. It's been like a 1-year process. I'm just do shows out here. So I'm sorry. We digress.
Yeah,
from-
no.
Oh, we
it's
always
okay.
do. Whatever. That's where the good stuff is.
Are you planning on moving here?
Oh yeah, I went apartment shopping 2 weeks ago.
What neighborhood?
Lakeview, Uptown. I was over in looking at Andersonville, that kind of area.
So by Lakeview, because I know Jenna loves this,
Yeah.
you mean close to where we currently are.
yeah.
Because Jenna lives in Lakeview. Stalkers, come
yeah.
get
He
it.
loves to do that. He loves to
right.
triangulate
Put it out
my.
there.
Oh yeah, I'm as if losing all of my fucking identity is enough to get me like murdered.
Yeah, well, if they do
And
murder
stalked.
you, they can't find a body or the identity, so you good.
Yeah, that's for sure. They'll be like,
they
quick,
good.
check
They
for a
good.
wallet. Tough luck,
I'm not
motherfuckers.
good.
You're not
Yeah,
good. They good.
no, they're good.
Oh man, that
God.
true crime documentary we do about your murder is
I
going to be
know.
lit.
Yeah, I heard
Erin's gonna
about
be
that.
stoked that she's gonna be on Dateline.
They could be like, who was it?
She
It's like
got
a game.
she got pushed off though. Now I'm going to do it, Dario.
Go ahead.
Jeez, he barely knows me.
It does. He's taking over.
But we can become best
We're
friends.
going to be a multimedia
I'm gonna be
empire.
honest. I'm way cooler.
Okay, all right.
You know, I'm not trying to bro out with you right now. I'm just being.
You
me.
can just bro out. Whatever.
Yeah,
It's all good.
so-
Come
my
on,
jam.
Jenna. You just be a
Not
bro.
my
Do
jam.
it.
I'm not a bro. Can't do it. Anyway, are you friends with any of your exes?
I'm cordial.
Yeah.
I'm cordial. I'm not. There's some of them I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, well, 99% of them I'm not. But
Yeah.
there's a couple that I'm cordial with. You know.
Wait, why not? Is it because they like burned it down in flames?
Yeah, it just wasn't.
Or-
It wasn't anything to sustain. You know, like
Yeah.
it wasn't providing anything to me.
Right.
So
Yeah.
why keep it around? You know.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that somebody else is providing anything to me, but it wasn't. You know, sometimes you keep toxic stuff around. It's just detrimental to you. So you just got to move on. So
yeah,
it's
that
like
was
it's a
my
couple.
ex-husband.
Yeah, you got to.
But I think for me, so I don't know about you and your marriage, TJ, but like for me, when we got divorced, we tried to do it as cordial as possible. Mm-hmm. And so at some point we we did this, like, I don't want to sound obnoxious like Gwyneth Paltrow, but we basically did uncouple, right? Like we went to therapy to figure out how to unravel our lives together in like a healthy way so that I didn't hate him and he didn't hate me. And
that doesn't seem like it really worked that well though.
I don't hate him. I for a long time kind of was like sad, which kind of brings me to one of my points. I sort of like mourned what could have been or what should have been. Right. And I was lonely. And I think that that's what made me hang on to him as a friend for so long, was that like, this isn't the way this was supposed to go. He was my best friend for, 8+ years. And now he's gone. He's just gone. Yeah. And it's like, how do you get rid of someone like that out of your life? He might have. Putting this together. You know what?
I'm getting to the bottom. Before you leave here tonight, we will have gotten to the bottom
of this. We're going to figure out who took the wallet.
Yeah. That's the name of this episode, is Who Took the Wallet with Dario Durham. Although that seems like there's an implication there. We are not implying that. Well, he did not take it. He just got here.
I'm ready for all the smoke.
Wouldn't it be some shit if I just found it in like my purse? After all of this, it's like in the bottom of my purse, hiding under a water bottle.
It was right there.
Like, God damn it. Well, now I've got 2 social security IDs or whatever.
Yeah, don't say that out loud, shit.
Oh, don't steal it, audience. Yeah. But that's what it was felt like for me. Like I didn't want to let him go. I was fine that the relationship ended, but I didn't want him out of my life because he was such a big chunk of my life for so long. Mm-hmm. And I was lonely. And it was like, because you know what happens, especially right after a breakup, right? Like you have all these memories together. Mm-hmm. So like I'd go to a store and I'd see something and I'd want to text him about it, or I'd go, right? Like you have all these connections, and I didn't move out of the neighborhood. We only lived a couple blocks away. Yeah. So it's like
to Lakeview.
Fuck you. Our entire life was here, and it's my life is still here. He's gone. He's in New York now. So he's, living.
Good riddance.
Good riddance.
Deuces.
So for me, that's, I think, was the biggest part of it. I think
that's the biggest part for a lot of people though. It's hard to break that what you had for a long time. It's hard to just remove all that from your life, and then the other aspect of it too is like when you sit and you see those things that remind you, you start thinking, and for me, you start thinking, damn, what if we could have done this? I start thinking about, man, we could have been so good if we this had just worked, or that just worked. Totally. Or if we just, so it's hard to like rip that Band-Aid off and just move on. You know what I mean? It's almost, it's not impossible because you do it, but it's in that moment, man, it takes you some time to get away from some stuff like that.
I think a lot of times what you'll have happen when you can effectively remove an ex from your life is if the relationship, to your point, Jenna, when you asked Dario if he just hadn't maintained because he'd burned it down. Mm-hmm. So if you have a situation where it just ends like badly, then it's easy to end that. Yeah. Or if it doesn't necessarily end badly, but maybe you had someone on the back burner, she had someone on the back burner, and they just slide into something new, and then it's easy. But if you have a breakup that's like fraught and happens over a period of time and isn't like this one inciting event, just like over 6 months or whatever, it disintegrates, but you were together for a long time, maybe you have that love or whatever, and everything is reminding you of them. And so when you have that breakup, you have that huge void in your life, you have that bond, those shared experiences, those things that you like to do, and now who are you going to share them with?
Right.
And it's easy for us to sit here as, we're experts, he said with heavy sarcasm. Yeah. But that's...
I am. I don't know about you.
You just go to a lot of therapy. That does not make you an expert.
She's better than me, shit.
Yeah, right. I know. But I just think that it's not healthy. And it's easier said than done to not do that. But I feel like in my personal experiences, when I've left those ties open or continued communication, it makes it harder for me to start something more meaningful, and not even necessarily just romantically with a new person. It can hold up all sorts of shit in your life, like pursuits of careers, pursuits of friendships. And if you're holding on to something that's wholly not good for you and it wasn't good for you in a relationship, there are times where you're like, all right, we've reached an end romantically, but we do have this strong friendship, and that romance is dead, but we can go forward. Then go forward, but that's rare.
Yeah, it is rare. That's very rare, because you got some animosity. Like even though you could be happy, like, man, I really like this person, you still like, man, I hate them. You know what I mean? I can't stand their ass. You know what I mean? And then that memory reminds you of a good time, but then you like get mad because you're like, damn, we ain't even together. You know what I mean?
Well, and even relationships that don't like go up in flames, the ones that just end, sometimes you'd be like, stewing over things that are unimportant. Like, oh, I remember when she yelled at me about the dishes, or oh, I remember when we were out in front of our friends and she corrected me, or what, just like stupid little shit that over the period of time, like really, really wears on you. And if you try to be friends with that person, that shit doesn't go away.
Yeah. Hey, it's funny you say that because I have this one random ass memory of an ex that just pissed the fuck out of me, man. Like, she used to get mad at the way, like, when I ate, my teeth would click or whatever like that.
Old clicking teeth.
Face ass, clicking teeth ass. You know what I mean? Like, and I used to be like, what the? So now,
I'm nodding because that's happened to me before. I've dated my ex-husband. His jaw would click, and I wanted to. By the end of it, it wasn't in the beginning. In the beginning, I didn't care because I was like in love and whatever. By the end of it, I wanted to punch him in the face and correct it.
Yeah. Now my ass eat bowls of cereal, and I'm sitting there like, hold on, don't click, Dario, don't click. Shit. Then I get pissed off myself.
You're
not chewing anything anymore. Everything is a liquid.
I'm sipping and shit.
Lots of soup. Lots of.
You know how you sip the milk off the spoon? That's all you hear from my ass.
All smoothies all day long.
If he can't chop it up in a NutriBullet, he ain't eating it.
Right, no. Hey, dog, chop that up from me, man. You know, mix that up. Whatever you got to do.
Baby food.
I ain't got to chew shit.
Well, I think, TJ, you said something interesting because I
say interesting shit all the time. Where have you been for the last 38 episodes?
Well, that's debatable. I think, kidding, I love you, I mean it. I think where the hard part comes in, right? We speak about it from people who do you have children?
I have one daughter. Yeah.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Okay, so then you'd be a good person to ask this. We do not have children, and what I was going to say
that I know of.
Could be some out there.
There's probably some real raged out, big foreheaded little kids all over the place.
Headbutting the shit out of other kids.
Headbutting, chasing motherfuckers off the playground. 3-year-olds chasing each other in the street, putting heads through walls.
9 o'clock news. Little shorty headbutts the fuck out of his whole class. TJ sitting there. That's mine.
103-year-old Peyton Manning clones just took over a playground.
Wow.
Damn. Come from Peyton Manning.
I'm roasting myself.
I mean,
Peyton Manning got a tower as his head.
He does.
He got a big ass.
When people I've had people tell me I look like him. I'm like, motherfucker, I do not have he had a cleft palate, which whatever. But I mean, I don't have that. Like, that's a big dramatic fucking difference.
He got a big forehead.
Nation.
I mean, like, and that's my man's 50 grand. I like Peyton Manning.
Chicken parm, you taste so good.
For real shit. He headbutts you twice. That's how big his forehead is. Like,
I don't want that. I don't want that smoke. No.
Do you see this face? This is a non-sports face. I'm like, Peyton Manning, like I know who he is, but I can't even picture what his face looks like.
And the only reason you know Tom Brady is because you like his Ugg boots.
No, I've never owned a pair of Ugg boots.
Good.
What I was going to say was, I didn't realize that you had a kid. What I was going to say was, I've dated a lot of people who have really tumultuous relationships with their exes, but having that kid is a tether to that person, right? To the child's mother or father. And that, how do you do that? Like, because you kind of have to be friends,
you
right?
have to. It starts out rough. I mean, it started out rough.
Yeah.
But through maturity, I mean, you get older and, you just got that stuff got to work out because it's bigger than you at that point. You know, it's bigger than y'all two egos, and you just got to have it work for the sake of the kid. You know what I mean? So that's actually not as bad as it may seem. I know some other people. Yeah, a lot of other people.
Oh, I've heard horror stories.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on now. Every situation is different now. I mean, like it depends on like how you and the other person ended. But even going through the hard parts for me, it's not bad. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, if it was bad, I wouldn't be who I am. You know what I mean? Like you could stew in that if you want to, but nah, man. Like it. If you mature, you're all right.
There are people I know who've gone through that, who've literally let it ruin their lives for large periods of time. And I get, especially if you were in a marriage or a relationship with the with the mother of your child, and there was like infidelity or any sort of thing like that, and then it's hard to be like, oh, okay, she cheated on me or I cheated on her, or we had some crazy like emotional toxic thing, and now I'm literally tethered to this woman for 18, 16, whatever the remaining amount of years are, and I know people who've literally held on to it to the 18th birthday, and then their kids getting married in their late 20s, and parents who haven't been married for 30 years are like, these fucking men talking shit at the wedding. It's like
that's
just too much. Yeah, that's too much. That's too much stress. Like
too much stress. I know. We are just trying to be positive.
Hey, my man.
Look at you.
look at that.
Wow.
You get that?
Call back.
God.
Subscribe to Be Positive Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And web series, YouTube. Let's go.
It's all over.
Since we plug in, so
you can see these good looking motherfuckers on camera.
Let's go. I don't have my hair cut on some of them, so.
Well then.
I think
I can't watch
I
those.
think
My
I
eyes
remember-
will be assaulted.
Was that the period of time where you had hats on in every Instagram photo?
Yeah, man. You see me? Yeah. I know
Man,
how to
I'm
get
all
around.
over social media. Man. I live on that shit.
Dude, hey, that's
Jesus
the hey, that's the code. You don't got your hair cut, throw a hat on. You good.
I wouldn't know.
Especially with his forehead.
Yeah, I'm saying, boy, it make me look normal. You know what I mean? Like, this shit make me look normal.
I know. Sometimes I look like I just like ripped out of someone's like womb, like alien and shit. Like,
The older you get, you be like, damn, where the hell my hairline go? Shit. What the fuck?
I feel like this entire episode is going to be about your fucking forehead.
I mean, whatever.
Can we just stop? Like, can we just stop about the topic and continue with the forehead
Forehead
jokes?
talk.
Yeah.
No, we go back to the
You
topic.
good? You good?
We've talked about the topic. Come on, Jenna.
Yeah.
Don't be such a taskmaster. Fuck.
Listen, someone has to like
Keep
be.
us on track.
Thank you.
38 episodes.
Be the
First one,
professional
Jenna's like,
one.
I'm gonna take over this time.
My bad.
This is what happens when I stop drinking.
Yeah, damn.
Now, because when I'm drunk
When
on
she
these,
stops drinking and experiences grand larceny.
yeah,
Damn.
when I'm drunk on these, I will just like whatever. But clearly, water.
Good ass water though.
Yeah, I mean it is pretty
Ooh,
good.
this
You know
is
why?
15th floor in the
Fiji water.
Oh, it's Fiji water? Straight from Fiji.
I don't fuck
straight.
around.
She's
I
not
get
even
it
talking about
shipped
Fiji
in
bottles.
Right,
from
She actually
Fiji.
goes to Fiji and has
Yes.
like families that work for her to harvest the water.
Yeah,
Yes.
right, in the jars.
and it's
Oh,
delivered. Yeah, it's
Triple
delivered,
filtration. They filter it through like bottles full of coal and shit.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Okay.
wrapped in gold
Wrapped in gold.
and diamonds.
And-
Because
man,
that's just kind of how bougie I am. Can you not tell by my apartment?
Jenna wore.
mean-
Well, I'm gonna edit that out. God damn.
I walked up to this thing. I thought I was walking to a dungeon. The door is so nice. I
It
was
is
like,
pretty nice.
I walked up. What the hell?
And these doormen, man, they unnecessary abuse of power sometimes. These
for real,
motherfuckers.
for
I don't
They
dig
have
it.
to be
What are they protecting? You?
from a stalker.
Hey, my man looked at me the whole time as he was like making a phone call up here.
Was it? I wonder.
No, it was the
got
maintenance
somebody
guy.
coming?
Oh,
it was the
it
maintenance
wasn't
guy.
Mike?
It wasn't Mike. No. Was he? Oh, no one was even here when you came up.
I just walked in,
They were
so
fucking
you
slacking.
can just get in this motherfucker
He's
killer.
like,
Yeah.
I'm here, and I was like, "Where's here? I'm outside." And he's like, "I'm like in the lobby. I was walking the dogs. I was like, I'll be in a sec." He's like, "No, I'm at your door." And I
Oh,
was like,
damn.
I had already gone in the other door when you texted me. to
You
go to the-
did?
Oh, yeah.
Damn,
Jesus.
damn.
We have no boundaries.
I was about to say,
Apparently,
yeah, I
no
see that.
boundaries. Yeah,
I
that's
see.
fine. Whatever. Do you just want a key? Should I just like give you a fucking key?
Oh, I made a mold of one like,
Yeah, right.
just like 3 months ago.
Did you get it out of my wallet?
Damn. Here we go. The wallet. We can,
Down in Joliet, you know how many crack rocks I got for a $1,000 YSL wallet? 4 crack rocks.
Right.
The exchange rate is
Yeah,
low.
we gonna see it in
low.
Joliet. Yeah, somebody gonna be like, "Yo, look at this YSL wallet I got." TJ. Now we on the TJ now, huh? Oh, okay.
That one I would believe.
I'm-
I mean,
man,
you're always
I-
stalking around my apartment apparently when I'm not in here. What else have you stolen?
Ooh.
That is true.
Damn.
Yeah.
That is true.
Get
We
real.
we recorded an episode with a guest host when she was in LA once and still recorded it here.
Yeah, that's
and we
true.
were texting her that we were like fucking on her bed and shit. And, like,
Oh, wow.
I mean, we were not.
You were not.
No, any women in my life, I did not fuck anyone on a bed here.
Yeah, I'm a
How about me? Because it's my house, and you
Right,
should
she
be
said
fucking
any-
people on my. Fuck your other people out there. This is my house, and you're not boning on my bed. Like,
Oh, Menage-A-Pod
What?
done took a turn here.
I mean, you hang a picture of a giant vagina on the wall. What the fuck do you
yeah,
expect?
that's a George O'Keefe. What is that?
You're the second person to say that. Who else made that joke? That's a great joke.
someone actually, an old boss of mine actually asked me that too. He saw it like zoomed in on it in an Instagram photo, and I was like, "How much money do you think you pay me?" Not
you
enough.
afford-
That is not enough.
If you
No.
if you have enough to buy a George O'Keefe, you have enough to officially pay me for my role as your co-host on this podcast.
Damn, get him a piece.
I
Get him. He
mean,
wants some cut.
must
I
I
need
do
a-
everything around here? I mean, social media and
She
editing.
does-
Now I'm finding
she-
people to edit the podcast.
Social media.
Said you replaceable. God damn.
I am not
He's
replaceable.
No,
not,
no,
he's
no,
not
no.
replaceable.
All right, this is going to be the scene of a double murder over here in Menage-A-Pod this week. I'm about to kill 2 of these motherfuckers.
Hey, I'm heading out. This has been nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
Dario's bigger than me, but it'll be a forehead battle.
Before head back, it'd be like Rock'em Sock'em with the heads.
Jesus Christ.
There's this big long hallway. You start on this end, I'll start on that end. We'll just get like a
Maybe just
20-foot head
Oh
start.
my
Cram.
God.
It creates like a fucking rip in the time-space continuum, and everything just like folds into the hole created by our foreheads. Okay, that was just too much.
Are you done now?
Man,
Because I, for a minute there, had a really good segue and you ruined it.
go back, find
I
it.
was going to say, speaking of social media, since I do all the social media, that's where we left that off.
Okay, yeah.
It is the worst thing after a breakup.
Social media?
I think that I don't remember life actually pre-social media, which is sad. But
Which is
a lot of-
surprising because when you were in high school, you were doing math on like Fucking what are the? No, my joke is ruined.
Yeah, take that.
God damn it, that's getting edited out.
Yeah.
It was gonna be an old joke.
Was it? Yeah, we all
An
figured it was gonna be an old
abacus.
joke.
God damn it.
An abacus.
God damn it.
Dumb. Okay. Anyway, my point is that. Well, I mean, I don't even know what you would look through yearbooks. Like, what the fuck? I don't even know what that would be.
KIT, keep in touch.
Exactly. You're like hitting people up on their pagers.
Have a
their
great
sidekicks.
summer.
Right. Ooh, she gave me her number. I'm about to call her.
On my own line. I had my own line in high school. It was very cool.
Yeah, we get it. You grew up rich. I've heard.
I did not. You're an idiot. Anyway.
You had your own number, and you have a butler's pantry or whatever the fuck that's called.
Damn.
But I don't have a butler.
You need one with a butler's pantry. Shit, that's bougie enough.
It is bougie enough.
I didn't build this apartment. It came like this.
Hey, look, I know houses don't even have a regular pantry. Shit, you put that shit in all cupboards and shit. Like, what the fuck?
This is actually just the craziest studio apartment you've ever been in. There's like 9 rooms, but it's a studio.
Right. It's like something off Clue, actually. You know, like
it
is. We gonna find his wallet in his house.
Then I'm gonna blast your ass with a candlestick in the guest bedroom.
In the butler's pantry.
Right. Shit.
With a candlestick.
Man, look at
I'm telling you.
Man,
you're right. You're totally right.
This is.
Yeah.
Visually,
how I'm gonna die.
Y'all need to understand.
Candlestick's right next to the sperm stress ball, man.
That is a sperm stress ball.
It really is.
And I'm squeezing the fuck out of it. What the hell?
I know. Well, last time they were throwing it around the room, which got really awkward really quickly.
Yeah.
Man, I always wanted. Never
Always
mind.
throwing sperm around the room.
Throwing sperm.
I'm just tossing it around, just ropes, fucking Matrix, Max Payne, bullet time, slow mo. Like,
Ew. Of sperm? Ew. That is a disgusting image.
That man, helicopter style too. He just
it's a little much.
you could double dutch off my ropes. Fuck.
Oh, Christ.
Ladies, y'all hear this?
So you probably do have a lot of babies out there that you just don't know about. Clearly.
My representatives have told me not to comment on this issue.
Yeah, right. Hey, man, you got some good publicists then, huh?
I certainly do.
God, you're so ridiculous. I can't even come back from that. I literally cannot come back from that.
Speaking of comeback, that was the comeback.
That was it. Jesus. Anyway, so am I the only one? I can't be the only one who stalks exes after we break up.
I mean, I look.
And stalk is a heavy word, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Like cyber stalk.
Little research.
just
little.
I look for a little bit, like maybe a few days, but after that, man, I move on, man.
A few days, so like 730 days or so.
That's it, man. Honestly, because look. First of all, I got other things I know I got going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I got now. If this was 2016 Dario, I might stew. I might stew. But now, look, man. Opportunity is out there. Work is calling. It's
too busy
to be dwelling on the past. You know what I mean? Like, hey, God bless you. Best of luck. Do what you got to do. That's it, man.
Yeah. I think that's a healthy way to look at it.
Yeah.
I feel like he's almost a bad guest for this because he's so like well adjusted and has like emotional depth and whatever the fuck that is.
I know. So let's talk to you then about social stalking people.
Let's go ahead.
How do you feel about it?
I mean, it's clearly unhealthy, but I've done my share for sure.
You be looking at stories.
I'm like, we jokingly, and I mean it. Like, I am a social media sniper. Like, if there's information out there, I mean, I know when and where is the right time, and I don't go too far. I'm not like creepy about it.
Right.
But like, you give me a first and last name. You even give me like a first name and an initial and like a general age.
Yeah.
I can find anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's borderline creepy.
One of them, huh?
Yeah, and so I don't use my powers for evil. Like, I've helped like relatives find like friends from they were little and shit.
Yeah.
But there's one person from my past that I do look at occasionally, and I actually
by like occasionally, you mean how many times a week?
like once a month, maybe.
Oh, okay.
And I am just doing it because I feel like, and this is petty as fuck, I feel like I'm doing real good and she's not doing
You
great.
just want to see that you're winning.
And she's like aging poorly.
Damn,
like
that feel good. You be like,
it really does. It's like, I mean, yeah, the forehead and whatnot. But other than that, I'm a good looking dude. I do all right for my age. When I'm single, I'm crushing and doing fine.
Yeah.
And she does not look great.
Dang,
and I know our fans are going to hate me because they're mostly women, but that's a real thing.
I kind of feel like these are your words. Your big forehead is the least of your problems because I feel like your big ego.
Ooh.
How are you getting in these doors?
God damn.
Ooh, shots fired.
Shots fired.
I don't know. I get in just fine, man. I keep like parquet with me so I can like butter myself up.
I got right in.
I lube my shoulders, put a little on my ears, and just
go right in.
I wish that they had a visual of what you just did, because that's not even going to translate.
I just did this awesome. Like Antoine Walker like shimmy.
Yeah. Hands up by the ears. It was weird. Imagine a sperm going through.
It was weird. It was a lot like sperm. You are so right. There we go.
And I made like uncomfortable eye contact with both people.
Right. We both pregnant now. So.
God damn it! I've gone this long without. Way to fuck that one up.
Literally.
By you of all people.
I know. I do what I can. No, it's not a great idea to be serious for like half a second. It's not a great idea. No. I think anybody, a lot of the things we talk about, and we jokingly say that this is like an advice podcast, but we're not experts. And I would say people know what we're telling them. Mm-hmm. People know that you shouldn't be creeping on your exes. You shouldn't be like doing kind of, I wouldn't say it's scandalous, but certainly not healthy for you. Right. And a couple days, a week, even a month, I get it. But if it's like 6 months out and you're still looking at your ex's profile every like week, every day, whatever,
you got a problem.
A real big problem.
Once a month.
Once a month isn't like,
no,
I mean,
at some point you gotta let that go. But
gotta let it go, friend. Let it go.
I know how tough it can be tough, because I did do that. Like I did it for a little while. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not
sure. We all have.
We all have done it. You know what I mean? Because you want to see like, damn man, like really was I that bad, or like did we really couldn't work, or what's our new dude look like? Or
that is where I don't want to know.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to know what life looks like beyond me.
Yeah. Well, this same woman, her new dude
terrible.
is not.
Right. You hope they struggling.
Yeah.
It's like to their face, I wish you the best. You turn around and get VD, motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
Well, and here's the thing too, is that like, to my ex-husband does not have social media. He never has. Mm-hmm. He was an investment banker, and I guess like in that field you don't. Yeah. And so I never had to really deal with that, which I feel very thankful for, because I would have probably unraveled a little bit more than I did. Yeah. And now, though, this is the other thing, is that like, what kind of friend can you actually be to somebody afterwards, right? So it's not really a friend. So it's like, should you be a friend with your ex? What does that really mean? Because you're not, because in my instance, like with him, we'll talk. Like we talk every once in a while. We'll check in. He asks about the dogs. I always ask him money stuff, like investment stuff. But
you one percenters just fucking it up for the rest of us. They're scheming and shit.
You're such an ass. No. So, but in all of those conversations, this is the best example. So I got stranded. I went to go pick up my nephew in New York, and I got stranded there because they closed down LaGuardia for like 4 hours, and we missed our next flight, and the next flight wasn't going out until the next day at like 6 p.m. So I had an overnight there, and I went to school in New York. But I knew the city. I didn't want to go into the city, and I knew he lived in Queens now. And so I was like, where would I go? Like, where can I go that's close to the airport? And I just texted him. I was like, that's not going to give me bed bugs. Like, where can I go?
You should go to Queens Bridge.
What?
Never mind. No one will get that joke.
Anyway, and we were texting back and forth, and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, here's where you should go. Sorry, I'm not there. We could have grabbed a drink or whatever to hang out. And he's like, but I'm in Vermont this weekend hiking. And then my spidey senses went off, and I was like, you're not out there hiking alone.
Right.
Or are you? That was weird. But if you are cool, but
he's
like,
out there with
my
that
guess
wallet.
is,
right.
My guess
he got the wallet.
Is he's with someone, right? Because it was a holiday weekend. It was 4th of July weekend and a long weekend. And so I figured he was probably with someone, and I didn't ask. Yeah. So that's like, what kind of friend am I? My brain went, right? And so then I skipped over the next normal question, which would have been, who are you with? Like, are you with friends? Because I didn't want to know. So in terms of being a friend, like I can say we're friends, but we're not really, because he doesn't know anything about my life, and I don't know anything about he purposely doesn't ask those questions, and I don't ask those questions.
And that's why it's like cordial. That's you be cordial.
Friendly. We're friendly.
Right? Yeah,
like acquaintances. Yeah. But how sad is that when you're with someone?
Not that
so
sad.
Long?
There are 6 billion, 7 billion people in the world, and any number of thousands of them could be someone that would be perfect for you.
Yeah.
And when something ends, it's great to look back on it fondly or not fondly and remember like the good and the bad or whatever, and think of maybe what you could have done better. But instead of thinking of what you could have done better to somehow salvage that, think about what you can do better just to be better yourself, and then be better for the next person.
Right.
Sure.
Right. That's true. I mean, because like, you don't want to look back at that stuff and like man, like stew. You can stew in it. I keep saying that, but at the same time,
I like stew, man.
yeah, stew is good.
Beef stew?
Like,
You don't have to chew it. Do you have to chew it?
you just slip up.
If you're,
Yeah.
this motherfucker's eating stew left and right.
My shit start clicking. The goddamn. Hope they didn't
You
pick
get to
it
like a
up.
7th, 8th date with Dario, and girls are like, "Why do you always order soup?
right.
What the fuck?"
Right. You go,
Liquid diet.
You're right. Right. Look, calm down, relax. I got to work on the figure.
My last name's not Durham. That's like front.
That's
It's really
a front.
Campbell. I'm
Right.
the heir to the Campbell soup fortune. I'm keeping these motherfuckers afloat.
She gonna call my ass out. Your teeth click, don't they? I'm like, "God damn.
How did you know?
Yeah, damn. I heard it. I just dealt with the shit. You was cool. Now everybody out here gonna think I just got the clicking ass mouth. You know what I mean?
they are.
That's going to be the one
Yeah.
takeaway from the podcast. People are going to listen to Be Positive and they're going to be like, listen for the click.
to
I
it.
can hear
Yeah.
it. Where's
Yeah.
that?
They edited it out. That's
Do
what
you
it is.
eat on your podcast?
Well, check this out.
We're going to send you sandwiches for your next episode.
yeah, right. And I'm like, man, soft. As long as they soft, I can. I can.
Don't give me no Jimmy John's
Right, right.
baguette. Those crispy breads will
Right.
fuck me up every time.
I'm talking about bologna sandwiches, man, with some American cheese, sliced cheese, Kraft. You know what I mean? Like, just-
Sure.
Sounds fantastic.
it is. It's that poor man food. That's what that is. That's that humble eating.
Anyway, what you're putting me? Oh, I was just gonna say, like, so back to that point is that, like, even if you want to be friends with your ex, it's sort of like, at what level can you really be a friend?
Yeah, because you ain't really gonna provide nothing to them. You're not giving
No.
them good information. You know, like you.
No.
You like you said, you gonna withhold shit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
But the crazy thing is that after that relationship ended, like, even to this day, where we're not sharing personal information about ourselves, I think at first I thought it was like self-preservation, but I actually just think neither one of us want to hurt each other
Right.
on what's going on in our lives. But like, if I ever needed anything, I would call him and he would give it to me, and vice versa.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, I don't know if that would be a friend or if that's just like a mutual respect.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's kind of a mixture of both. You know what this, and I was just thinking about this right now because this is probably like why I'm like so nonchalant about it, is because this sounds crazy, it sounds bad, but when you know what you bring to the table,
Yeah.
I really don't care what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
you could be doing the best.
Totally.
I know I'm doing my own thing. I'm shining somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I guess that's why I really don't care. Like, and even in the fact to be nice to somebody. Now, if you just a mean person, like the vibe is off, and like that's why we not together, and yeah, then I really don't care. I really don't care. But I guess I don't care in the sense of, man, I'm doing good. Not to sound like I'm doing better than you or anything,
Right.
but I know I'm doing all right. You know, without you. Like I didn't need. I didn't need you right here. You know what I mean? Like I didn't need you for this part. That sounds crazy, but you probably didn't need me. You know,
Yeah.
so
Well, and that's a good point, because I think a lot of people, when they end a relationship and they think of the loss of that person, and not even the romantic aspect of it, but just the shared experience, they look at it as losing a part of themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that that's kind of a ridiculous way to look at it, because you should be fully whole on your own. And then only then, Jenna, I will kill you.
I didn't say a word, so you don't have to edit it out. I'm just looking at you. Nobody can see me.
That's fine. You going to die tonight.
Candlestick.
Right. So I just think that, like, what was it? What was the last thing I said? Oh,
You have to be a whole person.
You have
yeah.
to be a whole.
So yeah, you just have to be a whole person. And if you're counting on someone else to make you whole, or you think they make up some part of like what you need to be happy, I think you're setting yourself up for failure. And you're not going to be good in any relationship. You're not going to have anything that is seen to, if for something to truly be fulfilling to you, you need to be fulfilled internally first, right?
And people got to see that. They got to see that. That's where the attraction initially comes from. You know what I mean? Like they got to see that whole.
Well, and that's I think a lot of people, when you come out of a relationship, it's kind of an over almost cliche. People talk about, oh, you know, nah, I'm doing me. But realistically, if you can focus on doing you, whether that's comedy or your new podcast or our podcast or focusing on your career or something you're doing, whatever hobbies, just do those things and really focus on the joy those things are bringing you. Because you may think, oh man, I'm in this dark, desperate place and I lost this thing that's like so important, but you lost them for a reason.
Right.
And if you keep them around for whatever good there is, there's still going to be that bad, and you're not going to be able to do you and focus on you and meet new people and have these fulfilling experiences.
That's real shit.
It is.
Real shit.
That's real shit.
See, I'm
right
a
there.
real big asshole, but like once an episode, I drop some heavy shit.
Yeah, that was real.
Once an episode.
Yeah.
So I think, excuse me, I think that was my next point, was that people are just afraid of being alone. So they did a study that found that individuals who don't like to be single think with far greater intensity about their ex-partner than people who are better at handling being on their
What
own.
about people who are
So-
borderline sex addicts?
Well, I don't know. We should ask David Duchovny.
True.
Because
I'll put out some
watching
feelers.
Californication.
I'll put out some feelers. I got his number.
Yeah.
Call him up. Hey man, what you think about this topic, dog?
They used to come to me with shit for X-Files. They'd be like, TJ, we got this plot device. There's a hole in it. If you could walk us through that.
Well,
Help us out.
I think though, on a serious note on that, like I think people who have some sort of addiction issue, I think that is, I'm sure, based on, well, I'm not sure because I am not, like, I don't
Not
want
an
to,
expert?
yeah, I'm not an expert on addiction, but I have
Dr.
dated,
Jenna Grish.
I have dated a couple people.
PhD.
I have dated a couple people who have had an issue with it, and that personality is just addictive with everything. So I can imagine that it is like
They like sex a lot.
always
Is that what you said?
sex, drugs,
and then that
alcohol.
compulsive behavior is
Yeah.
gonna lead itself into when you break up to looking at their social media, driving past their
1,000%.
house, calling them way too
Yeah.
fucking much, like doing all
Or-
those unhealthy.
Totally. Or the flip side, which is like they meet someone new within a week, they're like, "I love you." That's happened to me too.
Damn.
Yeah, it's weird.
I love
Yeah.
you.
I mean, I'm pretty lovable, so I understand. And first, I was like, "Yeah, I know, get in line." And then I realized it was because he was an alcoholic. So whatever.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
But it's a personality type.
It is a
so-
personality type. I mean, shit. I hope I know I'm not like that. But I mean, at the same time, man, like when you like somebody, you like somebody. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and I feel like what you were saying earlier, like you got to be whole. Like when you're doing all that stalking stuff, you clearly you're not whole.
No,
like,
definitely
not.
You clearly you're not whole. There's a void in you that you were trying to find in that other person, and it's hard to let go of that shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
And that's tough. That's a tough spot for anybody to be in. You know, like that's like that.
Yeah,
You know
take
what
the
I'm saying?
needle away from heroin addict.
Yeah,
It's like
seriously.
the same goddamn thing.
Right, it's the same thing, man. And that person is the needle. You know what I mean? Like so. I don't know, man. Like that's crazy. Like I'm glad. I'm glad I'm not in a situation like that. You know what I mean? Because like I would go crazy. I know I would go crazy. That's why it's good to have something else to do. You know what I mean? You mentioned podcasts. You mentioned like we comedy. You know, anything to like divert your attention off of that. You know what I mean? Like that's
Off
Well,
of
that-
anything.
Off anything,
Because
really.
this podcast was born because originally the idea was pitched to me by a friend. Well, she knows Tabitha. She is a friend of mine. I used to have a dating column, and going through the divorce she was like, listen, I think you should start talking about like what dating is like in your 30s as opposed to in your 20s when you last did it.
Well, when you last did it, it was like all horse-drawn carriages and shit, right?
Yeah, we were fucking around on our abacuses.
I felt you coming with something, man.
I waited. She had a cough. It gave me a full 3 seconds to build it up. Yeah. I was like, all right, come on, bring it back to the mic.
Anyway, so that's sort of why it started, right? It was like this idea of kind of connecting with people who are also going through the same thing. And then dating fucking sucked in my 30s. There was a whole different landscape and people are online and it was like this whole thing. And I hated it. And the only thing I kept thinking like, what was getting me through my 20s dating? And it was because anytime I'd leave, if I had a shitty date, I'd be like, that's cool. I got a story out of it. And I'd write about it for the Huffington Post.
Yeah.
So now it's like, cool. If I have a story about it, it's content for the podcast.
Yeah.
And it sort of was this thing that moved me through that transitional period of like getting over this divorce and then starting this new future for myself. And it kind of got me through it and it kept me busy.
Yeah.
And I think that's it, right?
Yep.
But then also it's kind of fun to talk about on dates until people started to feel intimidated by it. And then
Right.
like,
Yeah, that'd be. I was about, man. You must have
Yeah.
read my mind. That could be
Yeah.
intimidating, especially for a lady that can
Yeah.
have a conversation like
yeah,
that.
but like
Oh,
a guy
yeah.
can go out and be like, "Oh, the sex dating relationship podcast," and like fucking
That's
break it
what-
in.
Every
But
woman
a
I've ever
woman-
dated listens to this
Yeah,
for sure.
But a woman, I go out there and they're like, "Are you going to talk about me?" And I was like, "Well, don't be a dick, and I won't have to talk
Yeah.
about you."
Yeah, guys.
And even if I do, I'm not going to use your name, so it's fine.
Shit, no, I'm name dropping. I'm name dropping.
She'll call you Tiny Dick.
Yeah, for real.
That's not your name. Only you know you have a tiny dick, tiny
right,
dick.
Right, and then we got bad tail signs as dudes. Man, what the fuck?
I know. He's sitting in the car. God damn, this bitch talking about tiny dick.
Damn.
You know he ain't talking
Right,
about me.
Right. Oh, damn. That was you, wasn't it? I could tell by you. Why you turn up
They
like
got that pulsing vein in the side of your temple. That's a tiny dick vein.
Right. Damn, that's a tiny dick vein. There's a tiny dick vein. Now I'm gonna be looking at that. Anybody that I'm gonna just put y'all podcast on I'm gonna let it play around my homies and be like, I'm gonna look at them all. Who got the
We
tiny
wish you
dick,
would.
right?
Tell them to listen to it on their own phone so we get them extra downloads, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. Oh, man,
Yeah.
I plug for you. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
As soon as that vein come out, hey,
And-
5-star.
And this is kind of funny too. I think we've talked a little bit about that, like just diverting yourself and keeping yourself busy. And I would argue, and this is again totally just from my own personal experience, that the personal lessons and the personal growth that I've gotten from getting into photography, geeking out about motorcycles, like trying to like get a little bit more tangential to the Chicago world of comedy, doing this podcast, all of these things have made me way more whole as a human being than any relationship I've ever been in.
Totally. And more interesting for your next relationship.
Yeah, man. So I was on Tinder, still on Tinder. You know what I mean? Like,
Get it?
Yeah, and I was thinking to myself, my Tinder 10 years ago, whenever that shit came out, was not interesting compared to what it is now. Like,
You got at least one picture of you on a mic on that motherfucker,
oh,
right?
you know it.
Of
Come on,
course.
I got a couple pictures. Shit. I got the muscle showing. Hey, my shit, boy. Look. Shit, I swipe right on my damn self. Shit. Fuck.
I mean, that's the test, right?
I don't need nobody. I got me. You know what I mean?
Dario got his
There you
groove back
go.
on
Right,
Tinder.
There you go.
Z-snaps. Z-snaps. Shit. Fuck. No, but I was looking. I was like, man, you become whole, and like you start looking at yourself, man, I got more shit that I'm doing. Like, and then you realize, man, I don't really need that. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And that's it sounds selfish, but no, that's a good thing.
Unless the booties are really good.
Yeah, man, boy, don't get me
See,
started.
we haven't talked about that, and I think that's maybe a nice point that we should probably touch on before we wrap this up. Is
Booty?
yeah, when it's good sex, like
Yeah.
maybe the relationship is horrible, but the sex is like next level.
Mm-hmm.
What then? Because I would not be the first man to get caught up on some good booty.
I mean, no, I'm
Or a
definitely
woman.
right.
It happens
Fair.
to women.
Yeah, we
Right,
are
yeah.
sex positive. You get out there and get whatever kind of shit you
Yeah,
want to
for
get.
real. Right, shit, let's get it.
Yeah.
You look, if the sex is good, just don't stay away from the hey big head text. That's all. Just try to stay away from
I'm
those.
sorry, the what?
The hey big head.
I don't even know
All
this.
right, so hey big head text is
Why do I not know this? And TJ is
you
like
don't know, but
geeking out.
you ain't never got the hey big head text.
No.
Damn. Okay. All right. So let
What?
me break it down. So, I mean, the sex might not have been good, Jenna.
Listen, I'm very good at what I do.
All right, I mean, let's just call it what it is. You ain't get the hey big head text.
Is that literally what it says?
Yeah, no, I don't say that.
It's-
but
that's
but
the
it's implied.
vibe.
It's
Yeah.
implied. So if we talking, we break up and haven't talked to you in a little while, and then all of a sudden I say, "Hey, how you doing?" That's hey big
Oh,
head
yeah,
text.
I know that. Listen, fuck you, okay?
Hey, look, I didn't say it.
I didn't understand it. I thought that was like a thing, like
Jenna
a you
just-
up, like a you up text.
Yeah,
like
that's
that's what I
exactly- that's what
figured.
it is.
Jenna just dates in
Okay.
long distance relationships, so that can't ever happen because
I
she
do
can't.
that.
She
I
can't
do
charter
that.
a private jet
Yeah.
at like 2 a.m. to go get some
Yeah,
dick.
I do that.
Man, shit. Man, hey, look, I done went out. Man, people gonna be listening. I done went out. This girl told me this is the hey big head test she hit me with. I need some detergent. 3:00 in the morning. I need
detergent.
I need
Is,
detergent.
do you say that's because we're gonna need to wash your sheets afterwards?
Shit, look, I ain't say shit. I just put my slides on. I took my Tide, and I went my
Slides and ties.
I
Just
slides and
hit over
ties,
there.
boy. I was shit. You can't slide a hey big head text by me without getting away. Shit.
I still don't get the
Gotcha.
big head. I don't get it. Like,
That's a
can someone explain that part to me? Because I'm lost.
This is like a community outreach program
yeah.
right now.
I got
Sorry.
it. I'm gonna break this down real quick.
Please, because I guarantee I'm not the only person that's listening to
Fair,
this. that
Okay,
doesn't know.
so this is a black thing. I'm just be honest with you. That's where it came
Okay.
from. Came from the hood. I
Okay.
don't know how to explain it either.
But-
It's just-
That's it. Oh, okay, that's it. Okay, I thought there was more of that. I'm like,
But
tell me
could
more.
Be, you could be just like poor white trash hood adjacent and still
Just
get
say
it too.
And you can say, oh yeah, hell yeah. Anybody can get the hey big A text. It's just translated differently with white people.
I
It's
got
just
it.
you
I
up.
got you. Yep.
It's called
It
you
is
up.
a you up
It's
text.
you
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, for sure. 1,000%.
It's hey shit.
So would you say, Jenna, have you ever had in the aftermath of a relationship that mostly was shit, like gone back just because the sex was good?
Yes. I mean, that's what my marriage was based on.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we went a lot of times afterwards. But I haven't had like a very serious relationship. I mean, define relationship, really serious relationship. Like I've dated since my divorce. Obviously, I've been divorced for almost it's going to be 2 years in October, which is bananas.
Oh, that's coming up.
I know it's coming up.
We're gonna throw a party. We can get you
Yeah,
hookers
for
and
real.
cocaine.
Yes,
oh, wait, that's for us.
please.
Never mind.
Oh,
Go back
wait.
to the bar.
Also, my
find a
birthday, so like it's a party.
It's in like a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's a party.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's not that
I'm
happy.
gonna be
We don't celebrate that day.
25.
25. Yeah.
Yeah, I just keep
Right.
getting younger as this episode
Yeah,
gets on.
just getting
It's
on-
fine.
still
By
in
the
you.
end, I'm going to be 13, and this is going to get really
Right.
fucking awkward.
The whole time we've been talking about sex.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're gonna have to put like a parental advisory on this episode.
Yeah. Right. The E plus the 13, the little hyphen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But no, so I haven't had like a serious relationship until now. Before the last 2 years, so I feel like I don't know. That's all they consisted of were you up texts. Like an entire 2
That's
years.
the whole thing? Was you up?
Well, I mean, I don't know. They were like,
Did y'all live together? Like,
No. I'm saying
She means in the
between.
time since.
Oh, okay.
She's
Oh.
just got a
Since
string of
my-
you uppers.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I
you
like.
uppers.
Yeah, I haven't had like a serious something in a while.
I mean, but a you up
So-
text from a non-committed ain't bad. You just
No.
a player.
No.
You just,
Oh,
That I am.
Yeah, I
That
can tell.
am.
I can
Don't
tell.
talk to my doorman.
yeah, hey, he won't talk to me. Shit, it is that.
yeah, that's
Doorman. Hey, look, I'm gonna come for the doorman real quick. First of all, he looked like a train conductor.
He's the maintenance guy.
don't
wait,
give a
was
damn
it
who
the
he
maintenance
is.
guy?
Yeah, the maintenance
There's
guy
a
with
un-
the missing teeth.
It's- right,
I don't know why they sit him in
There's an
front of the
unwritten rule around brothers. Look, we supposed to be cool right off the bat, and he just looking at me like this.
Oh,
it
wait.
is.
What was
No,
that?
wait, so maybe it was Mike.
It wasn't Mike.
Oh, the
No, he-
maintenance guy's black too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't tell. I could tell by his
I
name. I
was
can't
like,
think of his name though.
it was like that brother was trying to protect the one white woman that he was in love with. Like it was.
Well,
Have you ever
I
heard
do like
Patrice
him. He's very
O'Neal's
nice.
riff
Oh,
on
yeah.
Natalie Holloway?
Yeah, yep.
Oh my God. You know Natalie Holloway, the girl got murdered in Aruba?
Of course I do. Yeah.
Patrice O'Neal,
went in.
rest in peace. He is like one of the greatest stand-ups of all time. He does this bit on the most valuable thing in the world is a pretty white woman, and he tells this bit about her getting killed, and he's like, asked everybody in the crowd what her name is, and some like heavy-set black girl in the front row is like, Natalie Holloway. And then he's like, all right, what's the name of the bitch he killed, or what's the name of the brown Peruvian bitch he killed yesterday? And nobody knew. And
Yeah.
he's like, there you go.
There you go.
He's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
so that's
Maybe
That's a good
it's
point.
media.
Yeah, he made a good point.
It's bullshit. But yeah,
It's bullshit.
it is bullshit.
It is.
I mean, it shouldn't happen.
Go- that's facts.
I'm gonna go home and watch Patrice tonight for sure.
Patrice is a classic, man.
A classic, dude. I love him as just a fan of stand-up, and any comedian I've ever met, he's like one of the all-time
He's a good
greats.
dude. He's
Are you familiar with it?
No.
Oh, you got to watch that.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
I would go
Yeah.
just YouTube it.
Patrice.
It's so fucking funny. He's incredible. He's been on a lot of the roasts. His stand-ups are really good.
Oh.
Like a New York
His
legend.
delivery is just,
Oh yeah.
man. yeah.
Well, now I'm going to. I had nothing else to do tonight. This
Glad
is my
we
life.
get it. All right, so I think just to kind of get some closure on this issue, I think we're all sort of in consensus that, you know, with the rare exception where it can be healthy, if you're the right people and you have that kind of relationship, then by all means, live your life.
Right.
But for the most part, move on, find a hobby, put your time and your energy into your friendships, your careers, your side hustles, your dreams, whatever you're doing, because that's going to be so much more fulfilling and you get so much more out of that than you are looking at your ex's Facebook page every fucking day.
Preach.
Totally.
Anything else on that, Jenna?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, Dario, before we take off, why don't you give everyone an opportunity out there to know where they can find you on social media, where they can see you performing, and just check out your comedy.
Yeah, all over social media. Dario D Comedy on all platforms.
Okay.
You search my name.
Instagram, Twitter, Friendster,
Yep.
MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace still lit.
Okay.
Yeah, I still got Soldier Boy Tell 'em playing, you know, with the little glitter thing.
I love it. I love
you know.
it. But it goes real slow because you're on dial-up.
Yeah, I'm
Takes
dial
forever.
up, you know. You got mail. You know, I'm hoping that nobody kick me off. So yeah, you can find me out there. Also, you plug Be Positive. Be Positive the podcast all over. Find that.
And what's the deal with Be Positive? Tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Yeah, man. Be Positive is a podcast.
Are you guys like super negative on that?
No, it's
I
not.
mean,
It's not. But
I love it though. You really are kind of a ray of sunshine in
appreciate
everything that you do. And I don't mean that
Thank you.
sarcastically, although I know 90% of what I say is sarcastic. But like your Instagram, everything is very positive. I really like it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, I got a platform, and I say I committed to myself. That's my life, man. I'm gonna use the platform I got, whatever I got. So, Be Positive is just a podcast about that, honestly, and it's not the preachy type of positivity. You know, we talk to guests, we bring it out, we banter, we have some fun, and the whole thing is we want you to catch a vibe by the end of it. And in talking to people, we'll pull out some positivity. So that's what it's about. Is you come to us, you catch a vibe. And hopefully you get something out of it. You know, Darian always has a nugget. Delmy always has a nugget. I'm usually the one that talking shit, you know? So, so it's fun. So we love it.
And where else, other than the podcast, where else can people see you performing?
Well, I got a show that I'm a co-producer of at Laugh Factory called Funny Little Liars, which is every first Sunday.
Clever.
Yeah, it's based off Two Truths and a Lie. It's pretty cool. John McComb asked me to be a part of it, and I jumped on it. So that's that. The two shows that my buddies, Monday and Wednesday, we had the Women's Showcase on Wednesday, which I started that one from the ground up. So I'm most proud of that, I'd probably say.
Nice.
That was all low key, always a dream of mine. Not like trying to reach and grab on the podcast here with the ladies, but but for real, that was always something. I grew up in a house full of ladies, man, family full of ladies. So, and you know, I'm not a male feminist. I don't want to be called whatever you want to call it, but
Right.
You just want to do good, you know.
For sure.
Like, you just want to do some
That's
good.
a good way to live your life,
Yeah,
man. For
right.
sure.
Yeah, that's all.
We definitely respect that about you. So everyone, make sure you are subscribing to Be Positive to check out Dario and his partners. Make sure you're going to the Laugh Factory to see Funny Little Liars, and make sure you keep an eye on the social media to see when he's hosting at My Buddies. And before we wrap up with Dario, it's kind of funny. Jen and I, one of the first times we ever went to the Laugh Factory, it was for a roast battle show that Zacho produced, and you and Antonio went toe to toe. And
yeah, I remember that.
that night was the first night we started reaching out to comedians on Instagram. You were the first person I messaged. I was like, this dude is hysterical. So here we are, like 10 months later, he's finally on the show.
I got robbed on that show, by the way.
You did.
Y'all remember?
Everyone cheered for everyone cheered for you, and then his pretty ass started like, I don't know what happened, and they overturned it.
It was a wrap. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you did get robbed. So, and he's committed to coming on too. So when he comes on, we're gonna get to the bottom of that.
We're gonna get to the bottom of it.
So Dario, thank you so much for spending time with us and talking with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody, if you want to find out more about Menage-A-Pod, head over to our Instagram at Menage-A-Podcast, where you'll find our link tree that includes links to our Facebook group, which we would love for you to join, our Twitter account, website, top episodes, and more. Finally, a quick thank you to everyone who makes the show happen, me, Jenna, our wonderful guests like Dario, and you, of course, for downloading and listening to the show. Until next time, share us in your IG stories, retweet, share our Facebook postings, and find any other way you can to tell a friend about Menage-A-Pod. And of course, good luck out there. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Peace.